Okay, so we're back and we are concluding our tour of this bottom tray here. And the last tool is this little plus button on the right, and that is our insert menu. So the insert menu has a number of options within it. Microsoft is actually releasing updates to this pretty regularly, so you may see this list change from time to time, but I'm just gonna give a quick overview of some of our options. This first is a note grid. So a note grid, without spending too much time on it, is basically, as the name implies, it's just a sort of a grid view layout of those sticky notes. So, if I was taking a student brainstorming activity and I was sort of live transcribing what my students were saying about this or that, I can just click that little button to say add note on the top right, and it'll add new notes, but sort of keep it within that grid layout. The next one, let me get some white space over here. The next one is the list. So the list could be really cool if you were running a class and you were doing this virtually. So you had this whiteboard up as sort of a standard whiteboard in your regular classroom, and you wanted to keep an agenda or something, or sort of a list of steps that students need to do for their project or anything like that. So this list is exactly like the name implies as well. It's just a list. So I can say, step one is completing bell work. And even within a virtual setting, there's no reason that I couldn't be assigning bell ringer or warm-up activities for students, right? It's not uncommon at all for students to join a Zoom meeting or a Google Meet meeting late. So, I could have something on the very first slide that I'm presenting that sort of gives them a little thing to do, maybe an entry ticket or something like that. And then maybe we're reading parts of a passage. So let's say read pages 4 to 6, and then break out into groups. So, just 3 steps here, but you can just build your agenda as you see fit. And then with my pen tool, I can come here and be like, okay, cool, we completed those 2 steps and now we're on to our group breakouts or something like that. The follow-up list is the exact same, only now you can see I have this column to assign it. So, maybe it's write rough draft. Whoops. And now with that second column, I can assign it to somebody. But again, for our district, we have teacher accounts. We have our emails are associated with Microsoft accounts for teachers, but not for students. So you can really only assign this to other adults for now who you've already invited into the document. So that's the follow-up list. The next object is a template preview. So it has some built-in templates for brainstorming, Kanban. So that's sort of, Kanban is, some of these are more, for like project management, so it's more like a corporate type use, but it's sort of reviewing a project, leading a meeting, doing a strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats analysis, and so on. So, I could see the brainstorming one having a place in education, but some of the others, they'd be really interesting to introduce into education in terms of like helping students manage their own time and manage a project, but you can go through there as you see fit. So that's the brainstorm. You can see it's a lot like the grid view that we showed earlier. The next is a sticker. So there's just a number of stickers that you can choose here, and some of them have direct ties to content if you'd like. Pretty cool, but also really don't be limited by the stickers, because as I showed in a previous video, you can just copy and paste anything that you find off of the web in terms of images. So you can bring in, if you didn't want that picture of Earth, you could bring in another one. But those are the stickers. The last 3 are probably more important. So the last 2, the Word document or the PowerPoint, if you use Microsoft products, you can actually import those directly into this whiteboard. But this PDF one is very important because really most curricula can be exported as a PDF. Every single slide, no matter who you build it with, if you use Google Slides or PowerPoint, you can download those slides as PDFs. You can download Google Docs as PDFs. So this PDF button I could see being really valuable because just about anything in the world can be exported as a PDF. So I'm going to click that PDF, and it's going to take me to my computer library and ask me where I want to look for these. I just downloaded the math framework for grade 3 onto my desktop, so I'm going to open that PDF. Now notice, because this document is multiple pages, it recognizes that, and I have a couple options down here. I can insert all of the pages if I'd like, or, whoops, let me do that again. PDF, select my PDF. I can insert all of the pages, or I can actually just tap on the ones I want to insert and then insert those. So let's say those first 4 are fine, and I'm going to insert the selected. So my PDFs are here. Notice it just kind of dropped those wherever I was on the screen. Again, just like anything else, you can reorganize these, you know, to your heart's content. So I'm gonna just kind of make those more horizontally aligned, and then I'll zoom in, and let's just say, you know, this grade 3 one is a passage or something that I'm working on with students. Now it's really cool that I've got my, you know, with my pens here, I can mark the text up. I can circle it or underline it. I can highlight. Let me get a little bigger chisel and a new color. I can highlight anything, you know, again, underline text as you see fit. As I zoom out here, those annotations now are sort of attached to that document. So if I place this somewhere else, notice that all my highlighting and my circling and everything travels with that PDF, which is pretty cool. So the PDF insert, I would think, would be very valuable. But if you use other Microsoft products like Word or PowerPoint or anything, you can drop those in as well. So thanks for watching this video. And in our last one, we will conclude with looking up at those 3 options in the top right.